Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in. I'm Sargel18. Episode 9 of Sargel18 Unchained. By God's Decree. How to Save Your Soul in Revelation. Guaranteed. I'm going to give you the key. Hand it right over to everybody that sees this video and everybody you then talk to afterwards on how to protect your soul from going to hell during what we are in now as in Revelation, culminating in the apocalypse, which will take place in 2034. Remember the War of 34, and then Jesus in 37 comes and ends it all. You know, Lucifer and all that, and takes all the bad people away, our bad souls away. Alright, so here we go. God's reality in third dimension is like a chessboard with thousands of levels. We are all on it, and there are millions of choices presented to every one of us throughout our whole life. It's in these choices that Lucifer hides and waits to grab your soul. How does he do this? When he was cast out of heaven and given dominion over everything that crawls here on earth, he wasn't physically put on earth. He was locked up in the pit of despair and death. If he wasn't in that pit, we'd all be dead. Because you're talking with one really nasty son of a bitch when you're talking about Lucifer. But Lucifer may not be able to walk among us, but he has the power of one of God's sons and archangels. So God and Jesus let him be able to use his powers to tempt humanity, but not physically interact with humanity. This really pissed him off. So he went about creating demons who can pass through a doorway as orbs, and they interact with humanity, and his plan worked out well. Now it's stepped up to like ludicrous speed in Revelation and the coming apocalypse. So things are getting faster. That's why you notice it's no longer like, a nice quiet town or a quiet time. No, it's not like that anymore. Everything's decision. What are you going to do? And that's what he needs. He needs you to make a bad decision. But here we go. All right. After Lucifer was cast out of heaven and fell, his name was changed to Satan, Devil, and other things. Each name represents a personality that has been created for Lucifer, or he created himself, representing how he feels at the time, which is normally really pissed off. Now, here's something that you probably don't know. He was given another name after he was locked up in the pit, Abaddon, which means destruction and doom. The Greeks called him Apollyon, which means destroyer. So if he can't physically get a hold of your soul, then how does he get it and send it to hell? Which, by the way, is the pit that he's locked up in. The pit he's locked up in of despair and death and all that is hell. He uses the one thing that God gave all of us against us, and that's called free will. You can't be put in hell by doing something evil. The actual act, like murder. You go to hell for making the free will choice to do something evil, like murder. So it's not the act, it's the choice that led to the act. And you also had the choice not to do anything like that would put you in hell. Now, no soul, not even Lucifer's, can get around God's given law of free will. So he creates as much evil and confusion in all our lives, so maybe we make the wrong free will choice and then your goose is cooked. We are all seeing his work right now, especially with the people in power. I mean, it's chaotic, it's not settled, it's all fucked up. And that's what he needs. So you make the wrong choice. So that's it. That's how Lucifer, even though he's locked in a pit, can take your soul. It has always been that way, and it always will be. It's actually, in a sense, a person with a soul makes the choice of going to hell or going to heaven, or on the level leading up to heaven. It's all up to the individual. This is what power that God gave humanity, and this also, the fact that we have free will, pissed Lucifer off to no end to start his war in heaven, amongst other things, but this really got him, because he just considers us, cattle, frogs. Now, I said this was going to be a short video, but now I'm going to take you back, for the people that don't know who I am or have heard of me in the last 30 plus years. I'm going to take you back to my time at the Wanacue Vortex, where I came face to face. Now, I came face to face with Lucifer, but now I know what I took a picture of, what form he took of energy, was Satan. That's the face he had on that night. Now, going back to November 1998 at the Vortex, I went there on Friday the 13th, in 1998. It was Friday the 13th. I figured, hey, you know what, with all the negativity and people freaking out and scared and climbing under their bed for a whole day and not coming out, and there are people like that, thousands of them. It's funny. With all that negative energy, maybe I'll come across something, different at the Vortex. Neat. Something I can destroy or meet or something, Oh. And so I came walking back from the Vortex, and I was walking towards the bridge, and you could see the columns and all, and those columns are 90 feet tall, and I look up, and there he was. Now, he can't be here physically, but he can astrally project his energy here and take form, and that's what he did. And the projection that he decided to take was Satan. But remember, it's all Lucifer. But Satan, he can take a personality and wear it like you change coats and socks and underwear and stuff. One day he's Satan, next day he's the devil, next day he's Beelzebub or whatever. He's a godlike creature, Lucifer. He has god-like powers over us, so he can do whatever he wants that way. So I look up, and there he is, and he turns and looks at me. Now, the columns were 90 feet tall. Lucifer was at least 60 feet tall, coming off that abutment under the bridge, going after people. Why was he so big? All the negativity. I told you, Lucifer needs negativity to be powerful and strong and to use. So what's a better night for him to be coming out astrally and absorbing as much negativity as he can through his astral body than on Friday the 13th? The night and day that people are all around, millions are scared shitless. Not me, though. I've always been lucky on Friday the 13th. I don't know about you guys, but that's my deal. So I saw him. Of course, I lifted my camera and flash and took his picture. He didn't disappear like the other creatures and demons and orbs and stuff that I take care of. He just kept on going. So let me tell you, he had one hell of an energy surge. And his aura that's coming around him was like electrons satelliting around the nucleus of an atom, and you're going to see that, and I have never seen that before here on Earth. And I don't know if I ever will again. Unless maybe I meet up with him somewhere along the line. So I took the picture. All right. He left. And now it didn't feel like when I met Jesus in on Good Friday, of Good Friday of all days, 2004 here in Pennsylvania in my own home. That was uplifting with love and all, and great feeling. When I stood there looking at Lucifer, it felt negative and solid and drawn down, like, ugh. That's Lucifer's energy. So now I'm going to show you the picture. I'll show you the first. I'm going to show you 3 pictures. I did a little enhancement so you can actually see his horns and all. Oh, and what I do want to point out too is the axe. The people that have seen this picture before, I talk about the axe. You can clearly see it sticking out of his back. And that, you know, that's the old saying. You put a knife in my back, you put an axe in my back, you damned me. He's damned here. So he has this axe in his back. But it's not an axe. It's the lock to the pit. He can't shake it. It's always with him, whether it's physical, energy, thought form. The lock is always there. And that's what you're going to see. For the first time in history, you're going to see Lucifer on Friday the 13th, or, well, Satan on Friday the 13th, and the lock that keeps Lucifer in the pit. So here we go. Now here's the untouched picture. Now you can see him there. You can see he's got a profile. He's walking on. He's got a. You see him by his profile. You see his long coat. You see his face, his horns, and I'm going to show you a close-up of that. And you see that axe sticking out of his back. That's the lock. Oh, this is so cool when Devron fills me in on this stuff. Or I remember from my own incarnations and my soul being in heaven. But it's just so cool doing this. Now here, I took out the aura around him, enhanced it a little bit. You clearly see from the side of his face, his goatee, his mouth, his nose. You see the axe sticking right out of his back. And if you look to the very top of his hair, you see a conal protrusion known as a horn. There's the horn, one of his horns. Right there in that picture. Let me tell you, I've lived the coolest life at the Vortex, man, and outside the Vortex. But the Vortex was like, it's a place that gave and keeps on giving to me. Now here, I did a little AI, and now you can clearly see his goatee, his lips, his mouth, his eyes. You can clearly see the horn at the top of his head and the axe or key sticking out of his back. This is the thing that you have to watch out for in Revelation and the Apocalypse. Not to give me, right? But how he does it is what they keep from you. And there are people here in governments that know exactly what I've just told you. But they don't want you to know. My job is to tell you the information as Devron gives it to me and heaven gives it to me, and let you, make you aware of what's going on. So I hope you got something from this. As far as I'm concerned, this is probably the most important video that I ever did in my life, because it gives you the key to saving your soul in the midst of revelationary chaos. I want everybody to have a great night. Please stay prayed up, and peace out.